Hey team, it's Mr. Z, and today we're going to simplify some radical expressions, so stay tuned as I review this process. Alright, so radical expressions is the idea is we want to simplify the radical as if it was a fraction. Fractions you have to simplify by reducing. So in order to reduce this, I'm going to look at the index, and I see that there's no square root number, so it's going to be assumed that it's going to be 2. So I can represent these all as rational exponents. The first one's going to be 8 over 2 times b 10 over 2. Looking at it in rational form reveals that the simplified version is going to be 8 to the 4th times b to the 5th. Essentially, it's simplified to not even include the square root. I'm going to look at this next one, and I'm going to do the same thing. I see that there's no index, so I'm going to assume it's 2. And then I'm going to have to do 49. Now, it's not to any power, so it is technically to the 1/2 times c to 9 divided by 2. So 49, what is the square root of 49? Essentially, is that what that's asking? Well, if I rewrite it as 7 squared, for example, 49, I can think of it as 7 squared. This is to the 1/2 power times c to the 9/2. So essentially what would happen now is that the denominator of 2 in the exponent is going to be 1. And when I multiply my exponent, I do 2 times 1, and I do 1 times 2. That is going to produce the exponent 2 over 2 times c to the 9/2. Now, 2 over 2 is just 1, so it turns out just to be 7, aka the square root of 49 is 7. Now, for 9 over 2, you got to ask yourself, well, how many times does 2 go into 9? 2 goes into 9 4 times. I go around the world, and I know that c, 9.5, is going to be equivalent to 4 1/2. So what I can do at this point is rewrite it to be 7 times c to the 4th. And I'm going to split up that 1/2. It's still going to be c to the 1/2. This leads me to have 7c to the 4th to the 1/2 c after I change it back. So the idea is I reduce this by taking some of the elements out of the square root. Even though my final answer has a square root, I am happy my answer is less complicated. Let's do this next one. I see the cube root. So when I rewrite it, it's going to be 2 minus 3 to the 9th divided by 3. Well, looking at my rational fraction, I can see that 2 minus 3 is just going to be to the 3rd power. And I'm done. I could keep on going. 2 minus 3 is going to be negative 1 to the 3rd power. Negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1 is going to be a positive times a negative, which is going to be a negative 1. All right, next up, I'm going to do the same thing. 8, I'm going to have to figure out, well, what is the cube root of 8? I'm going to then have to figure out a is going to be 6 divided by 3. And then this is going to be b to the 4th divided by 3. So cube root of 8, I ask myself what number times itself 3 times is 8, and this is going to be 2 times 6 divided by 3 is going to leave me with an exponent of a 2, and then that leaves me enough to handle the b to the 4 to the third. Well, when I do 4 divided by 3, 4 divided by 3, 3 goes into 4 one time, meaning that my mixed representation is going to be b to the 1 1/3 power. I'm going to split this guy up, so it's going to be 2a squared times b to the 1/3, and then I'm going to rewrite the fractional as a radical. It's going to be the cube root of b. All right, our final one. Again, I'm going to apply my fourth root to all terms. I have to take the fourth root of 16. It's going to be a to the 8 divided by 4, b to the 4 divided by 4, and then d does not have an exponent, so it's going to be 1 divided by 4. Now, what number times itself? 4 times is 16, 2, a squared, b to the first, and then d is 1/4. It's going to stay the same. So when I combine it together, it's going to be multiplied by this d is going to be in a radical. D's to the first power to the fourth. So hope this helped, team. This has just been a quick attempt at practicing the ability to simplify radical expressions. The idea is that you want to use the rational representation to simplify by dividing. Hope this helps. That's it for now.